Hello, welcome to another one of our videos, and today we're going to look at the push-up again. Today we're going to look at when we add the little plus to the push-up, and this is good for a person who has a wing scapula or problems with the neck and the shoulder, maybe not necessarily an injury, but just a postural problem that always presents with weakness and maybe on and off neck pain and problems that seem to come and go. And I'll sort of explain to you what we're looking for and what happens when and the push-up is actually a very good correction for it, but only if it's done well. And what you can see in this video here is when Mel comes up into this part of the push-up right now, which is where the full protraction, you can sort of see the border of her scapula right there and the other side there. And you can sort of see how the angle of it is almost like a dead straight angle. And this is when she's in full protraction. That scapula should be sort of around here, and we shouldn't see that little crease in her clothing like that. That should be dead flat as the scapula have sort of spread themselves out when they go into upward rotation on the top end of the push-up there. And you can see how she really struggles to get that end protraction. It's almost like she's still stuck in retraction, which is where you would have the scapula coming together here. So they're sort of moving in close. So those arrows are around the wrong way. But you know, they're sort of coming in here as the scapula is going into its reverse on the down phase, so that when she pushes up out of it, they should spread apart right there, and they're going that way. See, as the scapula comes around, but you can sort of see those little divots under there, and that's where she really struggles. But when we sort of add to the push-up plus, and you'll see it better when I show you from a horizontal angle, which you'll go to in a second, and you'll see that what happens from side on, how much effect, you can see now she's starting to work on it and get the idea of how to look at it, but you'll see from side on what it looks like when she doesn't do it. And you'll see here, whoops, so see how her posture has this kyphosis, and it's not really a kyphosis, it's the fact that she's stuck in retraction, and the shoulders are actually, or the scapula is sort of lifting off the rib cage out the back, and that's what gives the impression of the hump. But when we ask her to fully protract, and you'll see right at the top there, she'll sort of flatten out into a nice posture. So see that real snaky sort of feeling there. So she doesn't control it, and then she still stays in it until right at the end when we ask her to fully protract. Can you see that last bit there? And that's what we're looking for. So I just take that back a little bit for you, and you can see how she'll sort of, as I'm slowly, oops. So that's where she would normally finish right here, and then we just ask her to protract the remainder of it, and then that gives us that nicer posture right there. Alright, now there's another little way that you can we can work on this, and you can see there it is as each one gets better and better. We can add a football or even a bench underneath her feet, and the angle here actually helps her to start off in a better position. So because of this angle being on a slope like that, it actually helps the scapula sort of tilt into its posterior tilt better. So she ends up beginning in a better alignment. So it's actually a harder exercise, but ironically, they actually do it better. They may not get as many repetitions out, but their protraction is sort of assisted by this angle. So this is another little clever way you can use, and you're sort of coming around the back here to sort of see what a scapula looks like. And she's still got a fair bit of work to work on that, but that's an existing thing she's had for quite a while, and there you go. So that's probably the best one we've seen. And you can see how like for the first time there's none of these real divots that we saw before. You see how that really good protraction is even getting fatigued at this point too, and it's still actually, there you go, look at that, see, much better form right at the end there, where those first few, where she was really struggling to get that full, you can still see it there, and then as she gets going, still hasn't got it, and then I think on this next one we start to see an improvement. There you go. Yeah, alright. So anyway, there's some little tips on the push-up to help you, especially if you've suffered with a bit of neck pain or shoulder pain. It can be a very good exercise to help you correct the underlying stability problem that might be causing all the stiffness in the first place. That's why stretches and that will be pretty much useless, because they're just reacting to the weakness. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed that video, and we'll see you on our next one.